Item 9, public comment on items not on the agenda. It is the council's policy to refer matters raised in this forum to staff for investigation and or action where appropriate. The Brown Act prohibits the council from discussing or acting upon any matter not agendized pursuant to state law. Would anyone like to address the council under public comment? All right. Go right into conduct of business.
Wait, Jim, somebody?
Oh, no, he liked.
All right. If you could state your name for us. And
good evening. Good evening. My name's Alan Braun, formerly of 1660 Claremont Drive. My big concern is the subcommittee comment you made a little while ago. January 5th? Okay, January 5th is too late. Okay, that's almost 4 months since the fire, okay? The money that you have in this fund was relief fund money. That means the key word being relief. I work in the EAP industry, which is where you help people that have problems financially, mentally, physically, alcohol, drug abuse, all that stuff, okay? Waiting 4 months to have a subcommittee to decide how you're going to help the people of San Bruno, okay? I'm telling you the same thing I told the Red Cross. It's already too late now. You should be calling people, okay? The Red Cross finally started last week calling people, finding where they're at now, saying, we need to make an appointment, come sit with you, see what you need. You got people out there that have 3, 4, not myself, kids, okay, who are spending all this money that was supposedly given to them by PG&E to help, that it's gone, okay? They got children that they're spending all this money because they're in rental homes. They're having to buy all this stuff that they don't have. They need to be given some money so they can go get their kids Christmas presents, maybe buy a tree, some decorations, whatever. January 5th is too late. You're talking 121 days almost after the accident. Something needs to be done now. You need to start contacting people. This money needs to be distributed. It's a relief fund. And when you give it to them when people don't need your relief, then it's wasted. So that's just my comment, and I'm hoping you guys will start doing something about it. You need to just do like the Red Cross started. I read the Red Cross the Riot Act for an hour. They started calling people last Wednesday, asking them, let us come see you. Let's make an appointment, sit down with you. What do you need help right now? Because there's a lot of people out there that are hurting, and they need the help. And then, like I said again, it's relief fund money. It needs to be for relief. 120 days is way after the relief. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Since it was mentioned on the agenda earlier this evening regarding January 5th, you should know that you know, there was an awful lot of group assistance in the very beginning. We tried to turn that around, and it's been quite an effort to get that done, to reach out individually to members of the community. There's money still coming in, and it's not just the city's money. There's money in the Lions. I believe the Rotary has money. St. Robert's has money. A lot of entities, and a lot of them have decided to wait because they're not quite sure exactly where it's needed at this point in time. We have a unique situation here in that a lot of this money is being, a lot of the need, in fact, is being backfilled by another entity, and we're not quite sure where that's all going to land. So the subcommittee, and I don't want to speak for them, but I believe they've decided to wait. We just appointed the subcommittee about a month or so ago to wait so that they can get a group of residents that are concerned, not a large group, but a relatively small group that will represent, in fact, your interest in this. It's not just going to be their decision. So, you know, it may, for some people, might not move fast enough, but for others, I think it's better to just let the initial shock get over and see where it's really needed, so we just don't start shooting from the hip. So that's, you know, a little bit of background on that. So I understand your concerns. I believe Rico and I saw you in the hospital a number of months ago. Right.
Through the chair, Mr. Mayor, if I can comment.
Sure.
I can speak for the Lions Club, and I understand what you're saying, and I have the authority to say that our committee in the Lions Club has collected money, not to the scale of what the city or the Red Cross has raised, but if you can be my contact or whatever, or because we've chosen not to contact the families, and so, you know, for their privacy, and we have a process, and we are, you know, our priority is to help the 55 families. Not a lot of money, but if you know of any families that need some immediate need in the next couple of weeks because of the holidays, please contact me or we'll see each other. Yeah.
Through the chair, I was going to say, as far as the Friends Helping Friends at St. Robert's, I can also say that there was monies raised that are available if there are requests. My understanding is no requests have been made thus far. However, if you do have some insight or some folks that you feel might be in need or need something through the holidays, then please avail themselves to myself or St. Robert's, and that can be addressed as well for something that may be more immediate, as you're saying, than that. So there are two viable options from good people in this community because they do want to help. And we know the holidays are going to be tough for many, and we want to be able to be there and do what we can to ease it as much as we can.
Just for the record, the subcommittee, Irene O'Connell, Councilmember, and Vice Mayor Salazar. So.
And may I clarify as well?
Yes.
My understanding is that the subcommittee's task was to bring back recommendations to the full council. So we don't have the authority to give money to anyone. We're only bringing back recommendations.
And those recommendations will be not just from the subcommittee, but from the residents themselves. So you have to speak up there because you're on TV. So.
Okay, if that's the case, then, for example, I'll give you an example. When I read, I got into it pretty deep with the Red Cross, okay? My brother-in-law went to the Red Cross, almost 2 hours, filling out 5 forms, which was pretty much duplicates and triplicates of the first form he filled out, got $100, okay? After I let him have it, they dropped off a gift card for $1,300. And then they started calling people, okay? My whole concern is maybe on the city website, have someone put up a page where people can ask for the money, because people are still got, the one thing we do have left, we lost our houses, our cars, everything else, we still have our pride. And when you got to go somewhere and spend 2 hours and fill out triplicates and duplicates of forms to ask for the money to be helped, they're not going to step forward and do it, some of them. So, I mean, maybe on the city website post, you know, some, either information of someone they can talk to about how they need, where they can get the help, just to make it easier, because a lot of them feel like they have to beg to be helped, and they shouldn't have to.
No, they shouldn't have to.
As you saw, as our neighborhood came together when this happened, nobody begged anybody for help. Everybody just pitched in and helped each other.
Absolutely.
And my main worry is I'm seeing on all the pages of the different groups, everybody's talking about, oh, let's use the money to build a memorial park, put some benches in. Okay, no, that's not what the money was given for. It's a recovery fund. It's supposed to be to help people who need, I don't care if it's psychiatry, if they need money to get the what's the you know, the guy that comes out and draws up the plans for your house, an architect. If it's for getting an architect out there, right, or whatever, they should have. There should be something on the website where you can go and say, here's a form you need to fill out and submit, make a copy of it, bring it in, whatever, instead of somebody coming and having to spend 2-3 hours waiting in a line at City Hall or seeing whoever they have to see. So that's all my main concern is something needs to get moving. January 5th is too late.
Yeah. A couple of things you should know. The money, in round figures, it's about $380,000 so far. It's still coming in.
Right.
And has not been spent. Not a dime has been spent or will be spent until we get recommendations, you know, from the group. Number 2, the money will not be used to take care of anything that PG&E should pay for or that the insurance companies should pay for. So we have to be very careful. We just don't start giving it out when, in fact, there are other entities that should be taking care of you. Right. So we're watching that very closely. So I want you to know that it's not just sitting there and we're letting it sit. We're letting this thing evolve because there's a lot of stuff happening, as you know, in the neighborhood. So.
Right. Well, like you said, there's a lot of entities that are in this that have raised the money, okay?
Right.
But what I'm saying is there should be somewhere where they can go to one spot and say, okay, I need help. What form do I fill out? Who do I talk to see the help?
That's fine.
Now, not waiting until January 5th, because if you get somebody that comes up with a legitimate thing, there should be somebody that could say, yeah, we should help this person, not waiting until January. Then there's going to be a subcommittee, then another month the subcommittee is going to decide what to do with the money, then another month. By the time any money's handed out, it's going to be 6 months.
No, it's,
you know?
believe me, it will not be very bureaucratic at all. I see the
Okay.
city manager writing a bunch of stuff down right now, so we'll take care of that for
Yeah,
you.
her and I've talked in depth.
Right.
So. All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Through the
Thank you
chair?
very much. Yes.
I'd like to remind everybody, and I'm sorry I don't remember what the number is, but there is still a hotline that anyone can access to get directly to the City Hall and people who know what's going on. And we do have our website up that has links to different things. I'm sorry, I don't know what the number is. Do you know, Connie?
Yes, so the city hotline number is 616-7180. In addition to that, we have in place now for about the last 10 weeks a program whereby we have a number of city staff persons who are directly assigned to be liaison persons with each of a small number of families. Each of the 15 have a small number of the 55 families assigned to them who have been and will continue to be displaced from their homes, either because their home is severely damaged or because their home has been destroyed. Those liaison persons are able to assist in guiding and directing to resources that are available throughout the community by a large number of different providers. I think I should probably say that the city is working aggressively to try and develop a means of better coordinate the various nonprofit entities who typically and have to date acted fairly independently in providing services to residents. And I do understand and have heard the complaint that Mr. Braun indicated about an overly bureaucratic process that some use and expectations that might engender that have not been realized. We are working actively with those, the Red Cross and other organizations to cut that down and see if we can't assist residents in getting better access to those resources which the city does not directly control and in some cases does not have immediate access or knowledge about. In any case, again, the hotline number directly to the city is 616-7180. And any of the 55 families who need a better connection with their liaison person can contact that hotline number or my office directly, and we can work with them to make sure that they are in direct and ready access to the city of San Bruno so that we can assist in any way that is possible.
All right, good. Yes,
And
Ken?
if I could just reiterate, we have tried to respect the privacy of the victims, although we do have contacts through the victims' email group, and I know through the vice mayor and through former vice mayor, that we have sent correspondence from St. Roberts and from the Lions Clubs to that email, to hoping that it would get to those 55 families, and I know it's more than 55 families, but if there's a better way, we'd like to know. So, thank you.
All right, anyone else in public comment?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. My name is Bob George. I live on Chabot Drive here in San Bruno, and I'm here tonight to present you with an artifact. I'm a member of the board of directors of HIP Housing, which stands for Human Investment Project, and we're engaged in the process of trying to find housing for residents of San Mateo County who are underprivileged. The HIP is 38 years old. For the last 10 years, we've been producing a calendar which has become an icon for our organization. It's based on children's art this year from the elementary schools of in Foster City, San Mateo, South San Francisco, and Belmont. Last year, San Bruno schools were included. But I have left copies of the calendar with the city clerk. Again, I call it an artifact in this day and age of digital calendars and that sort of thing. It is unusual to see a calendar printed on paper, but that's what this is. And it's got some very interesting artwork. We had 350 young people from those 4 school systems, and we whittled it down to 12 because there's 12 months in the year. It's easier than expanding it to 350 months. But anyway, that's why I'm here. And I hope you enjoy the calendar. I hope to see them distributed around City Hall and my occasional visits. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bob. And HIP does wonderful work in the county, wonderful work. Thank you very much. Anyone else in public comment?